Okay. So what I recommend for you guys is make yourself a folder and get put references, images in there as much as you can. Just anything that makes this interesting for you. It will make it better. Always makes it better. But in terms of making the mannequin, let's go get started. So this approach relies pretty heavily on basically building up the character using a bunch of different polygon primitives. And it's going to be kind of similar to the Z-sphere approach, but we're kind of just building it up. And honestly, you could combine the Z-sphere approach and this approach if you wanted to. It really just depends on how you feel about it. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, I'm facing down the Z-axis, which is where the face is going to be facing. I'm going to hit X, so I have symmetry turned on. And I'm going to go ahead and start to build up. I need to make this into a primitive. Here we go. We'll do that. There we go. Excellent. I'm getting a couple things here that are kind of popping up. I'm going to clear my space real quick. I'm going to hit Control N. There we go. And I'm basically just going to use my move brush. Move brush. Your M. Move topological. These are both move brushes. Right now they do the same thing, but if I have multiple objects, which I will very, very soon, you'll see that it'll have a distinct difference. I'm just going to go ahead and start building up a torso, just a real basic torso. So just something like that. Want to go under geometry. Go to zero mesh. I'm just going to have it zero mesh real quick. Reason why is there's a little bit of a pull right here, and then when I zero mesh, I can smooth that out. Okay. Let's go to back to brush. I'm going to start adding in some more primitives now. I'm going to go to Insert IMM Primitives. And I'm going to go ahead and select the Z-sphere. Not Z-sphere, just Insert Sphere. With symmetry turned on, you'll see it actually puts them both in the same place. Hit Move. And I'm going to go ahead and move that sphere right here. Okay, that's going to be where my shoulders are going to be. I'm going to go ahead and go over to capsule. Let's not do capsule, let's do cylinder. I'll do a regular cylinder. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of start building up a mannequin this way. Let's just do a T-pose. Maybe a slight downward on the T-pose. Okay. Go here and do another cylinder. You'll notice that I'm putting a bend in the elbow. just needed the cylinder to be a little bit longer. You can adjust the length of the cylinder that you're inserting, really any of these, by pulling out and going back in when you're creating that shape. All right, so this is going to be the wrist. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to draw. So these guys are going to have actually 3 fingers. I'm going to do little base spheres. Hold down Control. As I move these, you'll see they will separate. Here's a neat trick. So I'm going to go and hold down Control and tap. You'll see it selectively only highlights the spheres I just put in. Why just those spheres? Because if you look here, each one of these objects that we put in is a different color. This is going to be referred to as polygrouping. So each one of these colors is something that we can select individually. So by holding down Control, I can tap with the Move tool activated, specifically with the Move tool activated. I can tap on different polygroups, and it will select just those groups and mask out the other ones, and I can move them by themselves. Whereas before, if I had this and moved it, it'd move the whole thing. Kind of cool. Now, when you're duplicating by using the Control and moving, it's going to keep that polygroup or whatever object you inserted. So if it's like blue or green, it's going to make a duplicate that's going to be blue or green. So if we go over here to polygroups, and we can tell it to do auto group. And what that'll do is that'll basically auto group each one of these. See? Now, you'll notice that like this color is different than this color, so maybe I do want polygroups to be the same for one side to the other. So what I can do is go under geometry, modify topology. I'm going to go to mirror and weld. So that's going to mirror polygroups from one side to the other, and really any mesh will get mirrored at that point. See, it'll mirror it over there. Just watching. So the reason why this is useful is I can then basically go in and move very quickly by holding down Control and tapping each one of these shapes as I need to. Actually, to be honest, I'm going to pull them out just a little bit further out this way. So I think, honestly, the hand just leave out a little bit too stumpy for my taste. So I'm going to have to go back to move topological. I'm just going to kind of shape the hand a little bit. And actually, I don't even need masking on. Let's move topological on. I can move these. I can the geometry however I want to, as long as I'm selecting the piece that I want. It's really nice. I want to show you this. This is going to be like the base of the thumb. So at this point, this is kind of a playful gestural space for you to kind of figure out proportions and scale and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, let's go and keep moving and putting stuff in. So let's do another sphere. I'll do in the center. This will be my I'm going to move another one real small because we're looking at this is going to be kind of the groin area. And I'm going to put feel where the hips are going to go. And then I'll do 2 spheres for the butt. And I'm just going to kind of move that up just a little bit. So that's going to be the butt muscles. And this will be the lower abdominal region. Something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and throw in some legs. So the legs are not going to be going straight down for me. They're going to be going a little bit on an angle, a little bit spread. Lower legs. And I want these to be a little bit longer. I'm just going to mask off that area and just kind of extend it out a little bit more. Actually, straighter. at the length of the arms. If the arms went down, where did they get? Somewhere right about there. And that's maybe slightly long. I don't have any fingers either. It's slightly long for arms on a human body. Again, depending on, if that's what you want. Apes, chimpanzees and stuff, they have super long arms, so they could, I guess, past their knees or something, but they're pretty long though. So that's pretty lengthy. So what I'm doing is I'm masking off the lower torso. You'll see here. See here that what I'm going to do is hold down Control and tap a couple times, and that actually fades that mask. I'm going to tap with Control off the model, and you'll see it actually reverses that mask direction. I'm going to use that to stretch that torso out just a little bit. That'll work. Don't put in some feet. Heel right here. My legs are kind of facing out at that direction, so I need to make sure I have that right. One thing is want to make sure that the feet are kind of flat as you're building them. Make it easier for the character to actually stand on the ground, so you would have to continuously try to fix that. Take a move brush, kind of reform the feet a little bit. I'm doing pretty humanoid with these, just starting out with that arch on the inside of the foot. Put that ball of the foot right here. And start putting together some toes a little bit. And kind of see what I'm doing with this. A bit of a big foot. Let's go ahead and put in. Let's go and do the neck. A little significantly less human here. And just kind of banging in some of these generalized proportions. That's going to be the base of the skull. Center, unlocking this and centering the pivot. I'll shrink down a little bit. That's going to be kind of where the snout kind of go out to somewhere right about there. A little bit skinnier. The Z remesh. Smooth it out. I mean, it's all eventually going to get Dynamesh anyways. Sculpt this. Duplicate. We're going to go ahead and put in a tail, because what perfectly good self-respecting dinosaur person does not have a tail? I will say originally these guys did not have tails in my original idea. But you know what? Dinosaur needs to have a tail. And you know what? Tails do not come straight out of the back of the spine. It's actually an extension of the spine. So that tail needs to come out at an angle. FYI. Personal pet peeve. I hate seeing tails that come out straight out the back. Doesn't make sense to me. Go ahead. Start putting that together. Speaking, what would a tail serve a purpose in this creature? You know, if it came from something like a T-Rex or some sort of large theropod style reptile, or ornithischia, I guess as it should be called. They're technically birds. It's kind of cool. What's the purpose of this? Because like, we don't have tails anymore. We certainly don't have a use for them, so we got rid of them. Oh no, don't care. I like tails. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out why we have tails, or why these guys have tails, I should say. But right now, he's gonna have long tail too. Lizard boy. Put a lab coat on him and call him Kurt Connors. All right. So that's going to be my mannequin start right here. I'm going to go and call that done. So I'm going to pause the video and we'll come back and continue on it.